Everyone in the neighborhood feared the massive German shepherd named Rex. He wasn't just aggressive. He was unpredictable, impossible to control, and had already scared away every trainer who dared to go near him. His deep growls echoed like thunder, and his eyes burned with wildfire that made even adults keep their distance. People said he was broken, ruined forever by the cruelty of the world. But everything changed the day a quiet, fragile little girl named Lily walked past the rusted gate where Rex was kept alone. Everyone shouted for her to stop. Everyone expected the worst. But Lily didn't listen. What she did next shocked every person watching. Because a wild beast who trusted no one suddenly froze, and then did something no one believed he could ever do. And this unbelievable moment, changed both of their lives forever. Rex had been the talk of the entire town for months. Anyone who walked past the old mechanic's yard where he was chained could hear the snarling, the barking, the metal chain whipping against the ground. The sound alone was enough to make people cross to the other side of the street. The mechanic, Mr. Harris, had rescued Rex from a violent home. The dog had scars on his legs and a deep cut on his shoulder when he first arrived. But even with treatment, Rex never recovered emotionally. He trusted no one. He lunged at anyone who came close. Even Mr. Harris, the man who gave him food, kept a safe distance. Children whispered stories about him, calling him the monster dog, the devil's shepherd, and the untamable beast. Adults complained that Rex was a danger to the community. But animal rescue centers refused to take him. They said he was too far gone. Then came the day that changed everything. It was a cold morning when families gathered for the town's annual street market. Booths were lined with food, toys, and colorful decorations. People laughed, music played, and children ran around without a care in the world. Among them was Lily, a 7-year-old girl known for her quiet personality. She rarely spoke, rarely smiled, but she loved animals more than anything. She carried a small backpack with an old stuffed puppy inside, a toy she kept with her everywhere she went. As the crowd moved closer to the mechanic's yard, Rex's growl ripped through the air. Parents immediately grabbed their children and hurried them away. But Lily stopped walking, her eyes fixed on the snarling dog behind the gate. Lily wasn't scared. In fact, she stepped closer. People shouted, "Stop! Don't go near him. He's dangerous." But Lily didn't even turn her head. It was as if she had stepped into her own world, one where only she and the wounded creature in front of her existed. Rex lunged at the gate, teeth bared, saliva dripping. But instead of flinching or screaming, Lily simply stood still. Her small hand slowly reached into her backpack. Everyone froze, expecting the worst. Rex growled again, louder this time. His paws scratched the ground. His eyes were wild. But Lily quietly whispered something no one else could hear. And for the first time ever, Rex didn't bark. Rex had never shown mercy to anyone. Trainers tried to befriend him. Professionals tried to rehabilitate him. But he rejected every hand offered to him. And now, a fragile little girl stood directly in front of him, with no fear in her eyes. Parents were screaming at Mr. Harris to pull her away. But he was frozen. He knew how Rex reacted to strangers. The dog's muscles were tight, ready to strike. His breathing was heavy. His claws dug into the dirt. But Lily didn't step back. She slowly pulled out the old stuffed puppy from her backpack, the one she had carried for years. Its fur was worn, its ears drooping, one button eye missing. To everyone else, it looked like a meaningless, broken toy. But to Lily, it was her world. She held out toward Rex. No fear, no shaking, just quiet kindness. And then something impossible happened. Rex stopped growling. His ears twitched. His eyes softened for a split second. Everyone gasped. Rex moved back instead of forward. His giant body lowered to the ground as if he were suddenly unsure, suddenly confused. No one had ever seen him react like this. Not once. Lily whispered again, her voice so soft it barely reached the people watching. "It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you." Rex's tail, a tail that had been stiff for months, moved by an inch. Just one small inch. But that tiny movement sent a wave of shock across the crowd. Then Lily did something even more unbelievable. She walked closer. "Lily, stop!" a woman screamed. But Lily continued walking gently, slowly, like she was approaching a scared child instead of a dangerous dog. Rex didn't bark. He didn't growl. He just watched her, trembling slightly. For the first time, the wild beast looked like he had no idea what to do. Then Lily crouched down and placed a stuffed puppy right at the edge of the gate, just close enough for Rex to reach. Rex lowered his head. He sniffed the toy, and then he let out a soft whine, a broken, fragile sound no one had ever heard from before. "He's crying," someone whispered, but it was what happened next that changed everything. Rex slowly pushed his head through the gate bars, toward the little girl, not to bite, not to attack, but to be touched. And Lily, without hesitation, gently placed her hand on his head. The moment Lily's hand touched Rex's head, the world seemed to stop. Even the wind fell silent. Everyone watching held their breath, terrified that Rex would suddenly snap. But he didn't. Instead, he closed his eyes. A dog that had snarled at every living being for months was now leaning into the gentle touch of a child. It didn't make sense, unless you knew their pain. Lily's mother finally arrived, breathless and panicked. "Lily, move away from him." But Mr. Harris raised a trembling hand. "Wait, look." Rex was no longer growling. There was no tension in his body, only confusion, mixed with desperate yearning, like he had been waiting his entire life for someone to show him compassion. Lily's mother fell silent. Lily slowly stroked Rex's head. "You're not bad," she whispered. "You're just hurt." Those simple words seemed to melt something deep inside Rex. Tears gathered in Mr. Harris's eyes. "His old owner, he never got love," he said quietly. "Only punishment." Lily looked up at him. "That's why he needs love the most." Her innocence, her truth, struck every adult around her. Because she was right. They had all judged Rex. They had all feared him. But not one of them had tried to understand him. Rex nudged the stuffed puppy with his nose. Then he gently pushed it back toward Lily, as if giving her a gift. The crowd gasped again, but this time the sound wasn't fear. It was awe. Rex wasn't a monster. He was a broken soul desperate for connection. Lily sat beside the gate, talking softly to him. Minutes passed, then an hour. Rex stayed close the entire time, resting his head between the metal bars, soaking in every bit of comfort she gave. Something extraordinary had begun that day. Something no trainer, no adult, no expert could have created. A bond born from shared pain. A bond born from quiet understanding. A bond that no one could explain. And it was only the beginning. Over the next few days, Lily visited Rex every afternoon after school. People watched in disbelief as the girl who barely spoke to anyone managed to do what no adult could. Rex began changing. He no longer barked at strangers passing by. He no longer pulled violently against his chain. He waited patiently, calmly, for Lily. Each day she brought him a new small object, a leaf shaped like a heart, a tiny flower, a ribbon she tied to his collar. And each day, Rex welcomed her with soft whines and gentle tail wags. The town finally began to see Rex differently. Children who once ran from him now stood nearby, watching with curiosity instead of fear. Even Mr. Harris, who had believed Rex was a lost cause, felt hope. "She's healing him," he whispered once. "She sees something no one else did." One afternoon, the unbelievable happened. Rex approached the gate before Lily even arrived, waiting with excitement, his tail swaying like a puppy greeting its favorite person. "He's ready," Lily said softly. "Ready for what?" Mr. Harris asked. "For the world, if we help him." Lily opened the gate slowly. The crowd held its breath, ready to jump in if Rex became aggressive again. But Rex didn't move. He just stared at Lily, waiting for her signal. "Come," she whispered gently. And Rex stepped forward, out of the gate, out of fear, out of the darkness of his past. He stayed by Lily's side the entire time, walking calmly through the street market where months earlier he had terrified everyone. People moved aside at first, but soon they were watching with admiration. Children smiled. Adults clapped. Some even approached to pet him, though only after Lily nodded her approval. Rex had transformed, not through force, not through harsh training, but through pure, patient love. "This is a miracle," someone whispered. But it wasn't. It was trust. It was the power of a child's heart. A heart that healed a wounded beast in ways no professional ever could. Rex's transformation spread through the entire community like wildfire. People who once feared him now brought him treats. Children giggled as they watched him wag his tail. Adults apologized for judging him too quickly. But the most important change happened inside Rex. For the first time in his life, he felt safe. For the first time in his life, he felt loved. One evening, Mr. Harris approached Lily and her mother. "I think Rex has found his real family," he said with a gentle smile. Lily's eyes widened. "Can we take him home?" Rex seemed to understand. He walked up to Lily and pressed his head into her chest, as if choosing her without hesitation. The adoption papers were signed the next morning. Rex walked into his new home proudly, carrying Lily's stuffed puppy gently in his mouth. He explored every room, every corner, staying close to Lily the entire time. Life changed beautifully for both of them. Rex started sleeping at the foot of Lily's bed. He followed her to school every morning and waited at the gate until she returned. He protected her like she was his entire world. And Lily, she became happier, brighter, braver. The quiet little girl found her voice because the wild dog she saved had shown her the power of courage. One night, Lily whispered to Rex as she hugged him, "You saved me too." Because the truth was, Lily had been lonely. Rex filled the empty spaces in her heart. And together, they proved to the world that no creature is born bad, only hurt. All they need is someone who believes in them. Someone who sees the soul hiding behind the scars. Someone who refuses to give up. Lily was that someone, and Rex never forgot it. From that day on, they were more than a girl and her dog. They were best friends. They were family. They were a miracle born from love.